Good morning, everybody. This morning we are going to study different asset classes following the FOMC meeting. So some significant move, I would say, on all asset classes between Wednesday evening and yesterday. So we are going to study the outlook on bond markets, focusing on US bonds. Then I will make an update on the US dollar, which moved quite significantly over the last two sessions. And we are going to end with an outlook on stock market indices. So first of all, if we study the US 10-year bond yield, we can see that overall, I would say, financial markets have been falling in love again with bond markets. With strong bull trends on both on US bonds, on also European bonds, and we will see as well on emerging markets. So the markets are still quite bullish on bond markets, which means that yields are still trending downwards. We can easily see that on, for example, on US 10-year bond yields. With a break last week below an important support, which was around 255, and after the Fed, so a move back to a key Fibonacci support at 250, which shows that we still have a strong downtrend on US bond yields in the short term. The main question for me is, are we going to extend the decline of yields below 250? At this stage, I don't have a clear answer. I would just say that the short-term trend is still quite negative on yields. So it will be quite interesting to see if we have a technical reaction, a bit like what we saw in January within coming weeks, with a kind of V-shaped recovery after the strong fall seen over the last few days, or if we continue to see persistent strength on US bonds with a decline of yields below 250, in which case, so you can easily see the next big support would be 230. So quite very good technical environment on bond markets right now. Maybe a bit of excess this week, but I mean, it's we cannot really expect at this stage a significant bullish reversal on bond yields. If we now turn to high yield markets, we can see that the HYG US tracker, which is the high yield US high yield corporate bonds. So this is an ETF, and you can see the amazing recovery over the last 3 months. So this tracker is back to record highs, even accelerate upwards after the Fed on Wednesday evening. So we can see that the market consider Powell's speech as a very bullish, bullish confirmation that it's a good market to buy. The only concern I have, which is a global concern, is about, of course, the timing. We can see that after 3 very strong months, this tracker is a bit overstretched. We can see that it has now hit an important resistance line linking all previous tops. So it's hard to buy it here, but I would say at this stage what we see is a strong bull trend, and it's also hard to sell it because it's hard to spot for a top. I would just say that, yeah, the situation is quite tricky, persistent uptrend, so no reason to sell it aggressively, but overbought conditions. So that's this will be as well, like US bond yields, something to closely monitor in coming weeks. Another quite interesting chart, this is the EMB US tracker, so you can see here. This is an ETF tracking the performance of emerging markets in US dollar. So we can see that this tracker is back near so early 2018 highs. So you can see the high here. We are very, very close to this high level. So a very strong recovery once again. I would say that this one is quite interesting and probably one of the most important to monitor in coming weeks, because first of all, I think this tracker may encounter resistance around its previous high, so around 110.50. And also, we can see that according to Elliott waves, we have a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves, which means that after 5 waves move to the upside, we are more likely to see the start of a correction. It's hard to say exactly where this market will peak, but anyway, I think it's now time to look for a short-term peak on EMB US. We see a very, very strong uptrend, so this market is now discounting a lot of good news, and I would say that maybe in coming weeks we will see a bit of profit taking and possibly start of a pullback. So that's something, this will be something to closely monitor, obviously. So this is the outlook on bond markets. If we now switch to currencies, we can obviously see a significant move after the Fed on US dollar. So for me, the most significant chart is that of the euro dollar. We can see this short-term breakout on the Fed. So a break above the 114 area. So I discussed a lot this critical resistance zone over the past weeks. For me, it was a critical level to break to invalidate the bear case. So that's what we did on the Fed, which means that for the first time of the year, we are seeing a meaningful bullish reversal, I would say, which at least jeopardizes the downtrend which has prevailed over the last 3 months. So I would say that from a technical point of view, the breakdown we saw in early March rather now looks like a false breakdown. And so the situation, the technical outlook is turning from negative to, I would say, neutral. Neutral because, I mean, we don't have any obvious sign of a significant bullish reversal. You can see that globally the trend remains quite negative, but a short-term trend improvement with, I would closely monitor the 114.80, 115 area as a critical resistance zone to break, to really improve the rates outlook. So right now, just a short-term improvement of the Euro Stoxx chart, but nothing really bullish yet. If we switch to the dollar yen, a quite similar outlook. We can see this very, very impressive downside move in December, then strong recovery since January. We can see that on the Fed, significant short-term breakdown. So we can see the same mixed outlook than on euro dollar. So which means that the US dollar is starting to weaken against the yen as well. So the first Fibonacci support at 110.40 was hit yesterday. We see that the rate is trying to bounce off this support, so the risk now, I mean, what seems likely is a trading range between 110.40 and the resistance at 112.30. But I would say that there is a high probability now to break below this support level and extend the correction at least to 110, maybe 109.40. So this is a short-term change, I would say, or at least an indication that we will continue to see sideways trading below 112.30. If we end the outlook on the dollar index, on the US dollar with the dollar index, we can see that there are no obvious signs of an imminent bearish reversal on the US dollar. So this one is more bullish, I would say, than what we studied previously. So the US dollar has not yet made a clear breakdown against the basket of currencies, of developed currencies. We can see a very nice bullish reaction on an important support zone around 96, which is the 200 moving average, as well as the lower part of this ascending triangle. So right now we are not seeing panic selling move on the US dollar, so that's not clear yet. So for me, what would clearly deteriorate the short-term outlook on the US dollar would be a break below the support line. So the 96 area, this will be something to closely monitor next week, in the next 1 or 2 weeks. So at this stage, what we are seeing is just a continuation of a trading range we see the range between 96 and around slightly below 98. Let's finish with the outlook on US markets. So what can we say about the S&P 500? So the S&P 500 is now trading above 2800. So 2800 was a key resistance and is now becoming support. So even though we saw a short-term pullback after the Fed, so it was on Wednesday evening, we cannot really say that the trend has turned bearish yet. That's not true. I mean, we even see so the SOX semiconductor moving back to new highs yesterday. The Nasdaq 100 is still very strong. Only the Dow Jones Transport Index is a bit weak. So overall, the trend, I would say, is still quite strong on US indices. Be careful about these bearish divergences, which reminds me what happened in September. So it's possible that the index is now becoming a bit exhausted, but I mean, as long as we don't have a significant trend change, it's hard to be very bearish on this market. The next big resistance above 2800 is now the all-time highs, 2940. Maybe watch, if the market stays strong in the coming weeks, watch an intermediate resistance around 2900. And on the downside, I mean, if you're a trend follower and your goal is to hit these levels, I would preferably put a stop around 2800, which for me is now a critical support. So to validate a significant trend change, let's say this way, I would really need to see at least the minimum requirement would be a break below 2800. If we end with European stock market indices, so this is the Euro Stoxx 50 once again, we can see that the European stock market index is encountering resistance around the Fibonacci resistance at 3400. So you can see clearly this resistance zone. So it was not ignored this week by the market. Anyway, it's like the S&P 500. We can not really say that the short-term trend has turned bearish yet. It's not true. We continue to see a significant bull trend. Short-term weakness since a couple of days, but it's not the first time we see short-term weakness. So 1-2 day correction, we see that here, and so there are few elements to really turn bearish here. Just keep an eye on the 3400 area, which remains an important resistance. Possible setback below this resistance zone, but I mean, the worst case scenario at this stage would be a pullback to the 200-day moving average, which is at 3280, maybe a bit lower, 3250. But I mean, at this stage, we cannot be very, very negative as long as the bull trend prevails. So overstretched market, so this is not changing, but persistent uptrend so far. Thank you very much for listening and have a great trading day.